Hey everybody, welcome back to Jackson Jet Setting. Today we're at Universal Studios Florida checking out the Hard Rock Hotel Orlando. We're going to do a full tour of the property, check out what my room looked like, as well as all the perks while on property, including that Express Pass Unlimited, which really gets you a lot of perks inside the parks, really saves you a lot of time. But first we got to get there. So we are at the airport extra early in Phoenix, about 4:30 in the morning for a 6 a.m. flight. It is not necessarily the time that anyone really functions best, but I'm excited to head out to Orlando, also checking out how my new camera works out, doing a little bit more vlogging on the channel going forward, so would appreciate all the positive comments or constructive criticism in the comments there for what is to come. Now, if you've been following the channel for a while, you know I'm a big points and miles guy. I've been writing about points and miles for over a decade now. I'm staying at the Hard Rock Hotel, though, because I need loyalty points with American Airlines. Now, Hard Rock Hotel doesn't participate in any points programs besides Lowe's, and I'm not really a loyal member of that brand by any means. So we are staying there to earn over 5,200 American Airlines loyalty points as well as redeemable miles today, and get me over the edge for that Executive Platinum status until 2025. Now, I am a big lounge nerd when it comes to airline lounges, and I do have access to the Centurion Lounge here in Phoenix, but it was a little early for that lounge. So we popped into one of the American Airlines lounges in Terminal 3. This one was close to my gate, and also the only one that was open at 4:30 in the morning. Was impressed, though, that they had hot bacon, which is, I know, nothing like crazy or elegant, but we really didn't have this in American Airlines lounges a year ago. So I do have the City Advantage Executive MasterCard, so I do get access to these lounges. You know what? I've been using them a little bit, and so far, pretty happy. It's nothing like a Centurion Lounge, but, you know, if there's no line or if it's closer to my gate, I'm happy. I get my espresso in the morning, which was really important on this trip. So we're heading over to Orlando today. I got to connect through Charlotte. I am an Executive Platinum member through one of the status challenges, but unfortunately, one of my upgrades didn't clear, so 1 out of 2 today, which ain't bad. Normally, I hate these early morning flights, but because I'm staying at the Hard Rock, I do get benefits both the day of check-in and check-out for my one-night stay inside the parks. And so I'm going to get there around 2 p.m. I've got a ticket for both days that I'm in Orlando for Universal, so I'll be able to use benefits both days. So I wanted to get some park time in, even though those parks do close at around 8 or 9 p.m. In the off times, which is a little different than Disney, where a lot of those parks usually stay open until 10, 11, 12 even sometimes. So here in Charlotte, I did have a 30-minute layover, but luckily we arrived a little bit early, so I was actually able to grab a snack in the very under construction American Airlines lounge near my gates. And yeah, it's definitely the older style, but I was really impressed with all the snacks that they had here. They had like real beef jerky. They had a bar open, of course, with one local beer now. We used to really only get like Coors Light, Bud Light for free in the lounges here. So now they have that local beer, which I thought Delta did a really good job at when I was going to those lounges a little bit more. So really happy to see that. Happy to see American playing a little bit of catch up here. Huge lounge, pretty busy, honestly, but had a lot of space, was able to find a seat and then rush off to my gate for my flight to Orlando. Quick hop over there. About an hour 15, hour 20 in the air down to Orlando from Charlotte, so not a lot of service in the air. Do have complimentary drinks. Kind of wish that they had a few better beer selections on board. I know this is kind of a first world complaint, but not really a big fan of the IPA that they have on board. They used to have a few better options. Hopefully they'll swap some of those out. Make me a little bit happier, but might be more to your taste if you're flying on board first class on American soon. I opted for a glass of bubbly, though, offered by the crew as a little pre-departure beverage. Sometimes crews kind of think that's optional, so I'm really happy that they offered that to us. We even landed a little early into Orlando, and we were about, I would say, 5 feet from the gate, but they had no ground staff for us, so we sat on the plane for about 30 minutes while they sorted all that out. But no big deal, really. We got off the plane on time, if maybe 5 minutes late, and I was off to the theme parks. Of course, though, we got to start our first ride of any Orlando trip if you're flying in the airport train with that nice warm welcome by City of Orlando Mayor since 2003, Buddy Dyer.
If you're a resident, welcome home. You're one of our nearly 7 million visitors. Welcome to the city.
So on the airport train is usually when I call the Lyft and Ubers, and then it's usually arriving pretty shortly after I arrive at the curbside area that they have the lifts picking up from. Just called my Lyft. The gate situation was not ideal. About 25 minutes and sitting about 5 seconds from the gate, about 20 feet from the gate, so that's no fun, but we're on our way to the Hard Rock Hotel. The Hard Rock Hotel has this grand entrance, kind of the Spanish Mission style that you'll find in California, or at least an idyllic version of that. Immediately, though, you're entering the lobby. It's got this waft of like some special scented perfume that they have going through the hotel. They got a DJ blasting music. It's great vibe in here. If you're looking for that spa music, bubbly fountains, 5-star hotel feel, though, probably not the hotel for you. I will say, though, this hotel has probably the best location of any of the Universal Orlando hotels because you are a 7 to 10 minute walk from the front gates of Universal Orlando, the Universal Studios Park. A little bit further a walk to Islands of Adventure. You do also have boats that'll take you to the City Walk, but it's going to be faster to walk. So if you're able to walk, I would just use that option to both those parks. The whole hotel is kind of situated on a hill. Lobby's on the 3rd floor. Most of the public facilities are on the 3rd or the 1st floor. My room was on the 4th floor. Really felt fresh and new in the hallways here. Had a cool vibe to it. Memorabilia, of course, all over the property. They had Madonna on my floor, but they had Michael Jackson stuff near the elevator, and music going in those lobby elevator waiting areas, which was cool. So overall, really great vibe to the place so far. Love the welcome. So I was assigned room 4076. This is an ADA double queen room. So that's just one of the things that happens when you're booking through an online travel agency, sometimes not booking direct. You're not typically going to get the best room. It's just kind of whatever is available. Sometimes you might luck out with an upgrade, but I did not get that on this trip. Not really a big deal though. Barely spent any time in the room, just really there to crash. So Universal has some fabulously themed rooms on property. I would say that the Hard Rock really doesn't try all that hard to make their rooms feel like you're at like a destination. They do have small notes and like little quippy things throughout the room to kind of remind you that you're at the Hard Rock Hotel. Also at the front desk, I will note you can check out a Gibson guitar or a turntable to be able to listen to records in your room, which is a really cool option there. But overall, the room, we're going to do a little tour here right now. So you had your closet right there with all your irons, etc. You have your coffee station with a Keurig machine, little mini bar right here. If I were to kind of compare this room to a more typical hotel brand that I stay at, I would say it's probably like a Hyatt Regency. Like very 3.5 star, maybe low 4-star room. Nothing crazy by any means in terms of luxury, but perfectly serviceable, very clean, very nice. So this is where you kind of notice that I'm in an ADA room. There's a little bit more room in the bathroom to kind of move around, which is great for those that need it. I, of course, didn't need that, but overall, nice little bathroom, nice and clean. Like that they had separate shampoos and conditioners that you could take with you. A little bathtub there to wash up the kids or yourself if you need to, if you're traveling on vacation with a family. Have you stayed at the Hard Rock Hotel or any of the other Universal Orlando hotels? Let me know in the comments what you think or thought about your time, or if you're looking forward to a trip. We are travel agents here at Jackson Jet Setting, so you can always reach out to the email in our profile. We can help you book that next trip. Moving on to the bedroom area of the room. So 2 queens right there, nice little throw pillow there, a little bit upscale for sure. Nice big TV, watch some football games on there late at night. Little records on the wall, so definitely a little bit of a hard rock feel right there. Some quippy, kind of edgy things on the hotel notices that they include in the room. 2 chairs here at the, I guess, desk / maybe dining table. Do have some charger ports there and plugs, which is great, and also some near the bed as well. Then that alarm clock that I see in many hotel rooms is also included in this room. Little hotel pin. I myself collect hotel pins. Let me know in the comments if you also collect hotel pins or anything that you maybe swipe from the hotels that you stay at. Nice little room view, though, I will say. This is overlooking the courtyard that you walk through to get to the theme parks. Here's a look at some of the amenities that are included in the bathroom here. So this is where I think it kind of separates itself from like a 3-star to a 4-star. They're giving you a few more items in the bathroom that you can use, some lotions, etc. Had to note the Michael Jackson memorabilia in the hallway. So now before we get to the theme park, let's start our hotel tour here. So here's the entry area that you're going to enter if you're coming in by car to the hotel. They do have self-parking as well as valet for an extra charge. Self-parking is not included either. Have this nice hard rock fountain, which I really liked. I will note, it was a very, very cold day in Orlando, both days actually that I was here, so the hotel had some things closed. Now, I was a little worried about this before my stay, but I thought, oh, maybe they'll have the pool deck at least open to be able to lounge in because it's not going to be that cold. But turns out the hotel kind of didn't really follow their policy, and they closed the whole place off, which I think was a little ridiculous. Also because they have a hot tub. Understand if they close the pool when it dips down below 50s, but it was actually above 50s. So a little gripe there from me for sure. Now I'm trying to avoid some copyright strikes here, so I'm not playing the background audio of this hotel, but they got music blasting this whole time at this hotel. Really a great feel, great energy of this place. There's your parking fees there, $45 for self-parking. Not the cheapest for sure. Here's the entry to the lobby though. Have some complimentary pink lemonade to the right, which I thought was a nice touch. Over to the right is the check-in area. You do have mobile check-in with Universal Hotels if you are booking directly. I did not book directly, so I had to go check in person. Not a big deal, no line, but just keep that in mind if you're staying on property. I would say that the mobile check-in that I've used in the past, not necessarily as slick as like your Hiltons and your Hyatts, which will just give you the room key right away, but it is available for you. Speeds things up a little bit once you get on vacation. Get right into the parks. So nice little sunken lobby over here. Nice little bar area off the Velvet Bar, I believe it was called. That place has live music tonight. We'll check that out in a little sec. Over to the left is the bell desk. That's where I left my luggage to go into the parks after checkout. So let's talk perks and price. This hotel is pricey. It is a Universal Orlando Resort Premier Resort. So what that means is you get extra perks by staying here on property. You get early entry to the parks. One of the parks is going to be open for you at least an hour early before the regular park guests. Sometimes both parks will be open early, but that's really only during the busy holiday times. So that's a big perk. It's a really huge perk, especially if you are heading over to ride Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, which is going to be the biggest line in the park. It does not have an express pass for you, so there's no way to skip the line other than being a single rider, which sometimes closes down. So just keep that in mind if you're staying here on property. But you're going to get the early entry, and then you're going to get the Universal Express Pass Unlimited, which is going to get you to the front of the line as many times as you want at every single one of Universal's attractions that has it, which pretty much all of them do. There's really just two small exceptions, Hagrid's and then the Pterodon Flyers, which is really only for little kids. So it does take a lot of the stress of planning a Universal trip out of the equation just by staying on property. So I think that that is definitely worth the price here. I paid about $450 before taxes for my room. Now, I would probably normally not pay that, especially just with me traveling alone, but I did need to go requalify for my Executive Platinum status with American. They were having a great offer here, and that was in conjunction with my already pre-planned stay here at the Universal Orlando Resort. So it made sense for me. It might make sense for your family, and that you can fit up to 4 people in a room. So it really does save you on costs. If you were already planning on getting that Universal Express Pass for your whole family, it kind of covers the price of the room a lot of times. And I will say I was going at a less busy time, kind of mid-January. I was expecting, maybe I wouldn't actually need this Express Pass, and turns out I did, and we will show you that a little bit in the video. So while I was jabbering on about price and perks, walking around the lobby area there, you saw just the sunken lobby as well as a look at the pool that was closed during my stay. So now we're going to walk down. This is the area that you're going to walk to get to the theme parks as well as some of the other property amenities. You have the kitchen, which is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That's going to kind of be your breakfast buffet area. You do have a grab and go area over there too that we'll check out. So that's all going to be located here on level 1. Now, if you're just going downstairs to grab some coffee, you'll probably just want to go check out the marketplace in Acambolio's. So this is kind of like a famous chain, I guess, from the West Coast. Even though I've lived on the West Coast, never had heard of it, but was pretty cool on the inside. So this is going to have your Starbucks coffee stand. This is going to have your breakfast pastries, some to-go items in the evenings, as well as your beer and wine at night, just to go have in the room, maybe around the resort. So that is an option for you staying on property. They do have this freestyle Coca-Cola machine too, so you mix things up there. So this is all your grab-and-go snacks here. Had a chance to try out some of the beer and wine there. They had a great beer and wine selection, I thought, for a resort hotel and pretty reasonable prices, so awesome. So besides this and the kitchen next door that we'll show you in a sec, they do have a pool bar. They do concerts out by the pool at night. They do swim in movies too when it's a little bit warmer. So that's pretty cool. So as you can see though, this property has a great theming to it. It's very like California Mission style. Really love just the relaxation feel of this. Doesn't really feel like I'm close to the theme parks by any means. Does have a few convention facilities too, so you will see some convention groups coming around. Love the logo of the kitchen too with all those instruments. Here's the inside of the kitchen for you. Of course, a lot of memorabilia still throughout this whole resort. So if you're a big fan of history, music history, this is going to be a great place for you to stay. There's even some outdoor seating as well if you want to enjoy the nice Florida weather, which can happen from time to time. It was nice and sunny during my stay, just freezing. Which is why as I walked up to the pool gates here, which is located right next to the kitchen, it was all closed off. So really sad. I wanted to try out the pool a little bit because it's always been very famous for having rock music actually blasted through speakers under the water, so you can actually hear the music under the water, which is really cool and unique, I think. They do have a water slide for the kids. They have a hot tub and little splash areas, so not a big miss for me because I wasn't planning on hanging by the pool that long. But it is kind of known as one of the better pools in Orlando, so did want to check it out. But instead, we're going to go check out the gym, because I know we all come to Orlando to go to the gym here at our hotels that we stay at. Do like to feature it though for those that are staying on a schedule, keeping fit on vacation. More power to you. Thought this one was pretty nice actually. They have some locker rooms set up here, some to-go waters for your exercising, which is great. Not a gigantic room by any means for exercise, but I thought they had a lot of great equipment here. All seemed like they had recently added some newer machines, which is always good. Sometimes you walk into these at the hotels that have been around for a while and you're like, ugh, maybe a few more investments in this area would be required. So now let's head over to the theme parks and check out how long it really takes to walk over to Universal Studios, which is the closest theme park to the hotel, as I mentioned. As I mentioned, just off the hotel is the boat dock, so that'll take you over to City Walk or any of the other hotels in the area. Maybe you have a dinner reservation at one of the other hotels. There's some great restaurants on property, so this is an option for you. Or if you just want a little extra ride around some of the lagoons, it's kind of a nice ride, nice calm ride. They will clear security before you get on that boat there. If not, after the walk here, we'll clear security and be in the secure area of Universal Orlando. This walk is super easy. They do have boat transportation, as you saw. It's gonna be a lot quicker to walk to the parks from the Hard Rock. It's the closest theme park hotel in Universal Orlando to any of the theme parks, closest to the Universal Studios park. So definitely a great option if you just want to be really close. You even eat here for lunch and then pop back into the park. It's probably gonna be a lot less busy. Overall, this is definitely right at 5 minutes from the hotel. If you're a brisk walker like me, it might be a little bit quicker. But so over here is leading towards Portofino Bay and Hard Rock Hotel. Over here is the beginning of City Walk. And over there is the entrance to Universal Studios. So not too shabby. So we finally arrived at the front gates of Universal Studios Florida. We're going to go check out some of the new rides that have opened since the last time I was here in 2023, early 2023, including Minions Blast, which I was excited to check out. It seemed a little chaotic in some of the videos that I've seen online, so that was going to be my first choice once I walked into the park and got all checked in. Fortunately, the attraction was down when I first walked by. Went down a lot for what is really just kind of a walk-through conveyor belt style attraction, so I'm not sure what exactly is going on with that one, but the new Minions Land was new to me when I arrived, so wanted to go check out Minions Cafe. Seemed like they actually had a pretty good menu. I've actually been pretty impressed with most of the food at Universal. I really like all of the Latin cuisine that they actually have here. Overall, I thought that the Minions Land overlay that they overlaid on this older part of the park really gives a huge blast of color to this section of the park. Do think that Universal Studios Florida, this park, is a little disjointed. Lots of themes kind of going all over the place. They're kind of making do with what they got. So overall, though, I think it's a great addition to the park, and loved that all the kids really seemed pretty jazzed that they got to meet their minions and ride a couple rides themed to them. So instead of riding Minions first, I went and rode my favorite ride in the park, Revenge of the Mummy. So I used my express pass and I did some timing in line. I looked at what the standby time was and then what my actual wait time was in the express pass line, see how much time I actually saved. So I got in line for Mummy at 4:02 p.m. The posted wait time was 70 minutes. It was 4:09 when the lines merged together, so a 7-minute wait, and I was on the ride at 4:11. So really fantastic savings there. Not sure if that posted wait time was actually accurate, but that's all I can really go off of for this video. For today, too, I didn't bring a backpack into the parks, which I really, really recommend that you don't bring a backpack if you can at all. I know it's not really an option for a lot of families, but you will have to check that backpack in at every thrill ride at the free lockers located in the front of the attraction. Good news is they're free, unlike SeaWorld, where I visited later this trip, but it is just a little annoying to go in and out before each ride, rather than with your express passes heading in right into the attraction line, getting on the ride as quickly as possible. Your time is money in those theme parks. I'm just offering a small tip, maybe save you some time. Transformers, overall, that line, I got in line at 4:18, posted wait time was 30 minutes, took me 10 minutes to merge, and I was on the ride about a minute later, so about 20 minutes of savings there. So now Minions finally opened up, got in line there at 4:37, it was a 40-minute wait, took about 4 minutes to merge, and I was on the ride at the same time. So this ride, they scan my pass there, I walk inside. This is actually a cool ride because they utilize the Universal Orlando app as some interactivity with the game, or with the ride, really. So it's kind of a shooter style ride, similar to like your Buzz Lightyear. You get a little blaster, but it's definitely a little bit more tech enabled. You're riding on a conveyor belt, so there's no actual seat. You're not really getting like a respite from waiting in line on this attraction, unfortunately. You enter the queue, and it's themed to this Villain Con, which is sort of like being hosted in Orlando, which I think is really fun. Really fun theme here. Lots of cool props around here. And so you're helping fight the villains, I guess, as part of this experience. You can also collect items within the park. I never got that to work with my app, unfortunately. I really, honestly, this ride, I'll give you my full review here. There's like too much going on. It's really hard to find where your blaster is shooting. Took me a couple rides of this ride to really figure that out. I don't really know what is scoring points. There's like 1,000 other people with you blasting things, so it's really kind of chaos. I don't think it's like necessarily not fun, but if I waited in line for like 45 minutes and I couldn't understand what I was shooting at, just a little weird to me. Next up, I headed to Men in Black, which is one of my favorite rides. About a 4-minute wait compared to a 35-minute standby line. Unfortunately, though, I got loaded into the car and the ride broke down, so it took a couple minutes for them to restart the ride there, and then we were on our way. Funny enough, though, I did get a pass to use as an express pass on any of the rides in the park, with a few exceptions, but of course that does me no good with my Universal Express Unlimited, so hope that they would maybe do something a little bit better for those that are staying in those premier properties, because it is still, at the end of the day, time wasted in the park that you're paying for. Next, I headed over to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Wanted to check out the Gringotts Bank and Escape from Gringotts, the ride, which is really a spectacular attraction, I think. So 70-minute wait time for the standby guests here. This one took a little bit of time, actually. It was about a 30-minute wait for me in the express pass line, but I did get to enjoy the queue, which in the past really hadn't gotten to do too much of, so that was really nice and fun. Lots of things to do while waiting in that line for sure. Had to ride E.T. with that 5-minute wait before I jumped out of the park. Thought I was running out of time. Wanted to go ride Minion Blast again. That broke down, so I went and rode Minion Mayhem, which is pretty cute. No filming on that ride, though. And then made my way back to the Hard Rock, where I wanted to go have some dinner. Didn't really feel the kitchen's menu, and so they actually have a very fine dining chain restaurant, steakhouse called the Palm Restaurant in the property. It's got this great old Hollywood feel, so very themed nicely for the hotel. They have been around for, since 1926, so almost 100 years now. I found a spot at the bar that was playing the playoff game for the NFL, so that fit my needs perfectly, and had some delicious bolognese. It was absolutely spectacular, and the service was really good, so definitely recommend coming in here. Very popular place for sure. Very expensive if you are dining and wanting a steak, felt like the pasta was actually pretty reasonable price. It was under $40 for pretty high-end Wagyu beef that's made in that bolognese. Business center nearby as well in case you need to like print a boarding pass or something if you're living in like 2005. And then the Velvet Bar over here is where you're gonna have your live music at night. I felt like the live music was a little loud for my taste. I know that it was cold outside, so normally I think they would have that outdoors, but good place to hang out if you are a local or if you're staying here on property. And now it is time to go to bed and wake up extra early to go hit the parks and use my benefits. Good morning from the Hard Rock Hotel Orlando. I had a pretty good sleep. I'm gonna go head over to Islands of Adventure, which has early entry today at 8. I'm gonna go try and ride some Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure, some Velocicoaster, take advantage of the benefit for staying on property here at the Hard Rock. Can you see my breath here? It's like 35 degrees or something in Orlando. I don't know what the hell this weather's about. So as I mentioned, we got our early entry into Islands of Adventure as being a hotel guest. So this is not only exclusive to the premier properties at Universal Orlando Resort. If you are just staying on property at any of their hotels, even the cheapest ones, you do get this. So there's a lot more people that are involved in this exercise in the morning, and almost everyone wants to go ride Hagrid's Motorbike Adventure. Hagrid's has a longer name. I never can really remember the whole name, so we're just going to go with that. Hagrid's. So if you do want to go ride that and not wait in a multi-hour line, I would highly recommend that you get up early and make the mad dash over to that. Get one ride in at least. Sometimes, though, when I've arrived early, it has not been operating, which was super annoying. But over here at the park, they do have Velocicoaster now, which is located right next to Hagrid's. You can pivot over to that. It's always a short wait for that roller coaster, and that roller coaster loads really fast, so I am impressed with the operation there. I saw the crowds going over to Hagrid's. I really honestly didn't want to deal with that today. I've ridden Hagrid's before. It's a great ride, really a lot of fun. I really wanted to go ride Velocicoaster because it's a very extreme roller coaster, probably my favorite roller coaster on the planet. Wanted to ride it a couple times today, so I went over and checked that out for early entry instead. My Express Pass does not work during this early entry period, just FYI. That opens up right when park opens, so that's going to be at 9 a.m. that day. So at the front of the park, they're going to scan your park ticket, and that's really for everyone. You can actually go into the park if you don't have early entry and just enjoy like the Starbucks in there and their entry portal for sure. And you show your room key and they let you go. So it is a great perk. It doesn't really save you an early morning by any means, but if you don't want to ride Hagrid, you can still have a very relaxing day in the parks here. So Velocicoaster requires everyone to put everything in their pockets into individual lockers. Those are actually integrated into the line itself, and it's a very smooth process. You put your stuff in the locker, you take your park ticket with you on the ride, which they are paper tickets, so it's a little terrifying for sure. That's going to be your entry back into the locker when you exit the ride. The lockers have 2 doors on either side of them, so it's actually a really cool process. You got to go through metal detectors. The only other ride that does this in the parks is Hulk. But yeah, it's a little bit of a process to get on the ride, but once you are through it, it is an awesome, awesome roller coaster. Very intense, and definitely the best roller coaster in Orlando. Next, I went over to ride Forbidden Journey, which is located in the Hogwarts Castle. This is the original e-ticket ride in this section of the park. It's absolutely fantastic. It's really one of the coolest achievements in theme parks, I think. I don't get motion sick, so it doesn't bother me, but I know it does bother some people that don't like screen-based attractions. And it is relatively intense for that reason, so just keep that in mind before getting on board. But just look how beautiful it is walking up here. This is one of the best themed rides in the entire world. It's fantastic. We're done with our hour of early entry here at Universal. Now we're going to head over and check into the hotel. Check out what the Conrad Orlando looks like. Overall, I like Disney more. Just the operations here, it's kind of frustrating sometimes. I hate the locker system. And, you know, how to take out your room key every ride entrance, scan, keep it out for them to scan again. I wish they had like a magic band scenario here. That'd make things a lot easier. I think it'd be a lot more seamless. Overall, Universal, it's a good theme park, but I'm a Disney guy. Before departing the Hard Rock, did get a few more shots of the pool area just so people can take a look. As you can tell, it's just absolutely beautiful. I just think that they should keep it open even if it's cold. And with that, that concludes our tour of the Hard Rock Hotel as well as our trip to Universal Orlando. Now it's time to go head over to the Conrad Orlando. If you are into brand new luxury hotels, go check out that video. That link is going to be below in the comments. Thanks again for watching, and please subscribe and like.